Hello, everyone. Hope we're all having a great day. I got a co-host for this one. This is Beast. Yeah. Anyway, um, reason why I'm making this video today. Well, first, my name is Neil. If you haven't seen my videos, I have unstaged liver cirrhosis, along with a handful of other neurological disorders. That I'm in the process of going through for some testing and stuff. One being an achalasia, which is a swallowing issue. Basically, what happens is my food won't go into my stomach. The bottom part of the what they call the sphincter muscle stays shut and clamps and doesn't release. It's an issue with the cells. It's kind of rare. It's like 1 in 100,000 people, so I should play the lottery. And I got a few other things going on. But anyway, reason why I'm making this video, so I want to talk about alcohol addiction in coinciding with cirrhosis. I don't talk a lot about this one. The reason why, there are so many things that cause liver cirrhosis. Alcohol is a big one. And I did drink. I drank for about 2 years. I literally didn't drink for about 13 to 14 years prior, not even a drop. Not even a little bit. And I did drink heavier than I should, for sure. I was drinking about a pint a night the last year of that drinking. Before that, it was pretty much just beer. And this one just took a leap of faith. Anyway, basically, I want to talk about addiction, but mostly what I want to talk about is the stigma with it. The feeling of depression or the feeling of embarrassment when you go in and you have to say these things and you have to tell the doctor about your drinking habits. Nobody's perfect. We all do things that, can cause all these kind of issues and stuff. We all have problems. We all go through, hard times that we may turn to alcohol or other drugs and that kind of thing. And it happens quite a bit. If you want to make a change and you want to move forward, first, don't be ashamed that you've made mistakes. We've all made mistakes. Like I said, nobody's perfect. Hold on, I'm going to put this little guy away. All right. Sorry about that. But in my situation, my liver was failing long before I started drinking. The drinking was kind of like lighting a match, throwing gasoline on the fire and making things way worse. It definitely didn't do any favors. And there were probably a lot of things that I went through that I probably wouldn't have had to go through if it wasn't for the drinking. But, in the process, when I went in and when I made the decision to go in, I was, at the time, I couldn't breathe. I didn't know my entire right lung was filled with fluid. I had no idea. At the time, I thought that I had something going on with my asthma or something like that, or caught some kind of bronchitis or something, or pneumonia. I had no idea that it was filled with fluid from the drinking. So I went in and they told me this and told me I was in liver failure. And I told them everything that was going on. And I had quit drinking about a month to a month and a half before I even went to the doctor. In my case, I hadn't had a drink in a little over a month. Of course, they did the alcohol testing, which they still do to me when I go into the ER. They'll still run tests if I go into the ER, just check. And of course, they're always negative. I haven't had a drink in 2.5 years now. And I have no intentions on turning back. I don't have any missing for it. I don't have any, the smell of it doesn't bother me. The idea of it doesn't bother me. But that's me. Like I said, it was easy for me to quit that. But it's not easy for everybody. And it's a very, very hard situation. Addiction is no good. it is a reality of life. Those items, if you have an alcohol addiction, if you're an alcoholic, you are not the only one. There are millions of people, I'm sure, that have that problem as well. And if you're watching this video, you probably have some worries, or you probably, have the idea of quitting, or you have quit, or maybe you just want to know more about the situation. But generally, I would think that you're probably making a move in the right direction, as far as trying to learn more and trying to find out maybe you're at your low point, and or maybe you're not quite there yet. They say you got to hit rock bottom before you can get up. I consider myself extremely lucky that it didn't go that far, but it very well could have. I went in, I was very embarrassed to go in and tell them I'd been drinking, because in my mind, I had an idea that there was something wrong with my liver, because I was turning yellow, my eyes had turned yellow, I had extreme pressure in the stomach, they pulled a bunch of fluid out of my stomach. I knew that when I went in that I'd be saying this stuff, and I had that feeling that they're going to judge me. And you know what? They didn't. When I went in and I was honest about what was going on, I was honest about how much I had been drinking. And, at that time, I went through a divorce and a bad situation, and wound up moving out of my house and living by myself, and kind of lost everything. And I went into heavy depression. And I didn't know it at the time, but when your liver starts failing, you have something called hepatic encephalopathy, HE. What that is basically the ammonia poisoning your brain, because your liver is supposed to filter that out. And when your liver is not working right, it stops filtering. So what happens is that poison gets to your brain, and it can change your mood. It can make you angry. It can even make somebody violent. It can make them forget things, slur their speech, forget whole situations, completely change their demeanor, make them not know where they are. But I went into extreme deep depression. I couldn't get out of bed. And this went on for months and months. At the time, the only thing I wanted was, the only time I got out of bed was to go buy more alcohol. And that's what I did. I was in bed all the time, and then I'd get up, go buy alcohol, drink my alcohol, go to bed. And that was my life for probably a good 6 months straight. And again, I consider myself extremely lucky that it was only 6 months, because it could have been way more. And it's very easy to be way more. And there's so many people out there that it hit so much harder for. And my heart goes out to those people. If you have any kind of addiction, whether it's a drug, whatever it be, fill in the blank, and alcohol, my heart goes out to you, because it is hard. It is extremely difficult to break those habits. And, the first step is admitting that you have some kind of problem. Things aren't going right. Again, if you're watching this video, something's up. If you clicked on it, you know that there's probably been a problem. Maybe some of you clicked on it because you've watched my videos. Maybe you haven't had an alcohol problem. That's great. But for this is really pointed towards those people that have had problems or are still having a problem. There are hotlines you can reach out to. Alcoholism is considered a disease now. So if you go into any hospital, they will help you. They will help you find a way to be able to get to rehab if you need to detox. There is help out there, but you have to, ask for it, and you have to be willing to. And there's no shame in it at all. There's no shame in asking for help. It is okay. We're all human, and we all need help at one time or another. And sometimes we need a lot of help, and that's okay too. If you're asking for help, you're making good decisions, and I'm proud of you, and you're doing great. Just keep following that line. And, the first step is quit the drinking. Easier said than done, I know. Maybe, I do believe, again, I had quit before I went in, so I'm not a complete expert on this, but I do believe they have some things that may help with that as far as medicines and things like that. That would be something you would check with your doctor or the hospital for, or maybe a rehab center, or even check online, Googling it and looking it up. But if you're having any symptoms, like, you've noticed that you have a lot of pressure on your stomach and your stomach's getting bigger, but your face is getting thinner and your muscles are going down, that's a sign of ascites, which is fluid buildup. If your legs are getting big and you can push on them and it pits, that's fluid buildup on the legs. If you're having a hard time breathing, that could be fluid buildup in the lungs. If you notice your skin changing to more of a yellow color, or the whites of your eyes turning yellow, that's jaundice. That is, liver disease. That is definitely something you want to get to the hospital and have checked out. Do it before it's too late. The sooner you can get help, the sooner you can, look for that help, the better it can be. Because the alcohol can also damage the pancreas. I don't have any issues with my pancreas. Like I said, I didn't drink that long, but I do have the cirrhosis. Again, and like I said before, a lot of things can cause cirrhosis. So it's not just alcohol. And some people can have a predisposition to it. Like liver issues run in my family. My liver doctor doesn't have an answer as far as, what was the main cause. He knows that my liver was failing before I even started drinking. Which, if I think back now, the first couple times I drank a couple beers, my legs swelled up really bad. I mean, just after a few beers. And that was in the beginning of me starting drinking. The signs were there, I just didn't see them. And I was a doctor dodger for many, many, many years. I never went to the doctor. If I cut myself real bad, I got some electrical tape and taped it up real good, typical male, right? Sometimes I was my own worst enemy, but I'm sure I'm not the only one out there that has. But don't give up. Keep fighting. Step one is in admitting something's going on, that maybe you have a problem, and if you have any of those symptoms, like I mentioned, if you're getting those brain issues I talked about earlier, the confusion, the not sure where you are, the change of personality. For me, I spent an entire year feeling like somebody else had taken control of the car and was driving the car, and I was just watching it happen. I checked out. I checked out mentally. Not just the depression, but I had checked out mentally. And I hurt some people along the way because of it. And I can't get that time back, unfortunately. I have to live with that, and I have to move forward with my life the best I can, through that. I made some poor decisions. Am I sorry for making those? Yes. But, I'm moving forward in the direction that I need to move forward in. And I'm making decisions that are good for my health. And I'm making life changes. And I'm pushing forward. And that's what we all have to do. We've only got one life. We've only got one liver. So treat it good. Another thing too, with it, eating healthier, making your own food at home as opposed to, McDonald's or Burger King or Taco Bell is always healthier. It's always a better option. And that stuff is good for the liver to do those things. Staying active is good for the liver. All those things. So, if you have cirrhosis, that you got to eat a lot of protein. Eating good proteins like pork, chicken, those kind of things are really good proteins to be able to have. They do make like Ensures that have the proteins. A couple of those a day wouldn't hurt either. They can get expensive, yes. They definitely can. I generally don't buy them because I can't afford them. At how expensive they are per one, and what I get out of them. So I find other things. I look at the back of packages and see how much, proteins are in it. If I want some kind of snack, I'll get like rice pudding because rice pudding has protein in it. I drink milk because milk has protein in it. So I look for things like I'll make oatmeal. Oatmeal's got some protein in it, but I'll make it with milk as opposed to water to add the extra protein to it. And even you can throw some protein powder into that if you want. If you want maybe strawberry flavoring, you can get a strawberry protein mix and throw, a cupful of that into your oatmeal and eat that. There are lots of different things that you can do that can add the protein to it to help. But again, back to the alcohol part of it. If you feel like you've got a problem, maybe you don't have any liver issues right now. Maybe you don't have any signs. Maybe you are lucky because you haven't had any health conditions, but you've been drinking for a long time. It's not too late. Liver disease is completely reversible up to the point of cirrhosis. Cirrhosis is scar tissue. So basically, your liver has healed and scarred over, healed and scarred over, healed and scarred over, and then the tissue starts to die. And that's what cirrhosis is. So once you get to that point, unfortunately, there's no cure. All you can do is eat properly, stay positive, stay focused, keep taking your medicines they give you to help prevent the hepatic encephalopathy, to keep the ammonias down in your body, and continue when you have an issue, go in and be checked out. Continue working with your liver doctor. If you have liver cirrhosis and you don't have a hepatologist, you should ask your GI for a referral to one. A hepatologist is a liver specialist. GI does do work with liver, but they are not liver specialists. Hepatologist is. So you want to look into that, which is what I have. I have to drive about 4 hours to be able to get to mine. I'm in the process of looking to possibly move so that I can be closer to a liver specialist and actually get closer to a better medical facility. So I'm in the process of trying to do that. And I want to say real quick before I end this video, for everybody who's helped my GoFundMe, thank you so much. I'm almost to the point to where I can do this move and start getting the help that I need, especially for the swallowing issue and for the stomach issues I have, because I'm going to wind up needing a feeding tube at some point. But the problem with that is they generally don't want to do that when you have liver cirrhosis, because of the fact that if I ever build up fluid in my stomach, it can pull that tube out and then you can breach fluids, and that can be extremely dangerous. So I don't know what's going to happen next with that. But if I'm not able to eat, it's not good. But I continue to stay positive, continue to fight. And again, thank you so much for helping. If you want to continue, if anybody wants to help, the link will be in the page. But again, you don't have to. That's not why I make these videos. But I do want to thank everybody for your support. And I also love the comments everybody makes and the stories they talk about, sharing their life situations and their experiences. I love hearing those. And, and I'm glad that there's a community that comes together and talks about it as well in the process. So, again, I want to thank everybody. Take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful day. Have a great weekend or whatever day you watch this on. And stay blessed.